dapat feeling terkait dengan settingannya, kemudian juga pilihan ban akan jauh lebih meningkatkan performa dia. Dan kita harapkan juga ya setidaknya ada bantuan karena ya beberapa Ducati ini menyebar beberapa motor tak hanya kepada Lorenzo tapi juga ke Dovi dan juga Petrucci dengan anggapan dari mereka itu akan bisa
Andrea Iannone. Nah, Andrea Iannone.
Ya.
Sepertinya Suzuki ini sangat bermasalah dalam keadaan trek hujan ya, trek basah.
Ya kalau kita lihat memang dari musim-musim sebelumnya pasti Suzuki ini selalu mengubah dengan pembalap baru. Musim ini juga demikian. Jadi agak butuh waktu buat si pembalapnya mengenal karakter. Musim ini persaingan jauh lebih terbuka, tak hanya dengan pabrikan, tapi juga satelit juga cukup seru. Ada Cal Crutchlow, ada LCR Honda, dan bahkan juga dengan para rookiesnya. Begitu banyak rookies di musim ini. Ada 4 pembalap, Jarko, Folger, kemudian Alekrin, dan Samuels. Dan ini menjadi bumbu tersendiri buat musim ini di MotoGP.
Dan Rossi, berarti udah nggak ada Lorenzo.
Iya.
Oke, baiklah GP Mania. Langsung saja kita akan saksikan yang paling ditunggu live race MotoGP Argentina 2017 langsung dari sirkuit Termas GP Honda. Selamat menyaksikan.
Left and it's a very, very short run to the line. Here we go. We're in Argentina. Round 2 of the championship is underway.
Good start by Marc Marquez from pole position. Good start as well by Cal Crutchlow on the as well. He's already picked up a place over his teammate Maverick Vinales. Marquez leads though.
Marquez down into turn 2. This is where we saw.
Is that Lorenzo?
Is that Jorge Lorenzo down?
It is. Lorenzo's down.
Lorenzo off the Ducati. Jorge Lorenzo has crashed from the Ducati at the front. Marquez leads the way through that fast right-hander onto the back straight. Jorge Lorenzo's nightmare continues. And Vinales all over the rear wheel there of a Cal Crutchlow because he really does want to get past him. He wants to start trying pulling that advantage that Marquez has got. Here is Marquez coming through 12 into 13. Crutchlow, Vinales and Rossi into 12.
Right now, he's eked out his lead now to almost 1.5 seconds. There he is, all on his own on the run down to turn number 5. Let's not forget though, Nick, he tried this a few years ago. Then he was about 5 seconds clear of Valentino Rossi, and Rossi hunted him down.
This is a big, big start though by the man chasing his 3rd win here from his. He's going to be up with these guys. Very steady indeed.
Right,
look at that gap.
He could be 2
1.8 seconds. It could be 2 seconds.
Well, he's just put in a 1:40.130. That time around, it's no doubt about it, the fastest lap of the race. Half a second quicker than Crutchlow, Vinales and Rossi. 7/10 quicker than Petrucci in 5th place. We know that Crutchlow, he's a demon late braker. He'll be able to leave his braking really late because he'll have the support and stability from that hard front. Vinales, though, just as we speak, attacks at turn number 7, and he's through Vinales and in 2nd.
Yeah, it's made it stick. Rossi now eyeing up Cal Crutchlow. Maverick Vinales into 2nd place. Can he start pulling back the advantage? Man, that is some lap by Marc Marquez, as Matt said, at 39.
Oh, he's down, Marquez!
Oh, Marquez has crashed.
He's pushed too hard. He's down. Iannone jumped the start. I was just about to say Andrea Iannone jumped the start. He'll have a ride-through penalty. Marc Marquez, just like he did in Australia and Phillip Island in October.
It's over. He's walking away.
Almost a carbon copy. A mistake that Marc Marquez didn't make in the first half of last season. He got all of his crashing in races done when he'd already won the World Championship. What it means, of course, is now Maverick Vinales, the World Championship leader, leads this Grand Prix. I can't believe that Marquez made that mistake so early on. He was pushing so hard places. Now he's got a jump start, so Iannone will have his hands full just to get back in the point-scoring places after that ride through the pit lane.
Well, you got to say, Marc Marquez handed Maverick Vinales the lead with a glove on almost, and Crutchlow closes up on the brake. This is Carol Abraham.
Here's Marquez in Barcelona.
Yeah.
So Jorge Lorenzo will be upset to be out of the race. He'll be even more upset if he was given a helping hand by Andrea Iannone. Cal Crutchlow's doing a really great job in 2nd place. He's just come over the line and putting his personal best lap of the race. Iannone has come into the pits for his ride through.
Great ride by Petrucci.
Lorenzo was on the outside. Zarco got a brilliant start. There is Andrea Iannone.
What happened here then? Well, he's not going into turn 1, is it? We pulled right across the...
I'm not really too sure that Andrea Iannone
didn't too much wrong, really.
Didn't know anything about that, did he? I mean, what can Andrea Iannone do about pace right at the start of the race? He was clearly felt confident to try and open up a gap that he could manage in the 2nd half of the race as the grip deteriorated, but it was all too much too soon, certainly for that Michelin front tyre.
We ride with Danilo Petrucci. That is Danny Pedrosa right behind him. Through 3, now 4, onto the back straight.
Better grip and better pace in the second half of the race.
We ride with Danny Pedrosa, comparing the speeds and the braking. Great graphic. So we ride with Pedrosa, that's Danilo Petrucci in front of him. And a real good indication of just what a superb circuit it is in Argentina.
Crash at turn 13 then for Alex Rins. Just losing the front tyre ahead of Carol Abraham. So Suzuki have already had Andrea Iannone have a ride through hobbling there. Of course, Alex Rins, he fractured a bone in his left ankle in a motocross training accident in the build-up to this Argentina Grand Prix. Vinales is trying to check out here, Nick. He's just put in the fastest lap of the race.
Why? Sure, I did some mistake, but okay. You know, this kind of mistakes makes me quite disappointed because I was feeling really good, really strong, but that now we must think on our team.
Thank you very much, Mark.
It's good to Marc Marquez. To overtake Pedrosa is trying absolutely everything because he knows Zarco is coming as well and he's bringing Bautista along with him. It's a good battle. This is the 4th place. Oh, it really has closed right up now, and here comes Bautista. And Bautista has gone up the inside of Johan Zarco as he made it stick. No, Zarco fights back immediately. Is Andrea Dovizioso on the factory Ducati. Rossi, I think, at some stage would try and have a nibble at Crutchlow, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Just struggling to get close enough to do that.
The problem we know that Valentino Rossi's had all through winter testing on this.
Crutchlow, as we said, since he won in Australia, has not finished a race. There's a fair bit of pressure on him. There's nothing he'd like more than a real old battle, though, with Valentino Rossi.
Yeah, I think if Rossi's got any desires of chasing down his teammate Maverick Vinales, he's got to pass Crutchlow pretty quickly because Vinales has taken out another 2 times. 1.5 seconds. Management was going to be so crucial. We've seen smoke pouring off the rear tyres of a number of riders already, and we haven't even got to half race distance.
Into turn 1, Rossi still behind Cal Crutchlow. The battle behind them rages for 4th place. Just tuned in, Marc Marquez had a 1.8-second advantage and went down at turn 2. Jorge Lorenzo went down in the very first corner of the race. And Maverick Vinales now has an advantage of 1.386 seconds. Rossi still right on the tail of Cal Crutchlow, 14 laps and 5. All race he's been trying to do that, hasn't he?
Yep, Alex Rins has come into the pits as well. He's a bit battered and bruised from that motocross training crash, and he also had a fall at turn number 13. Johan Zarco's turning that Yamaha M1 into a motocross bike here. It's sideways everywhere. It's like he's Greg Hancock, the Speedway world champion. It's just awesome to watch. A little bit too loose. Petrucci back up the inside of Alvaro Bautista. He runs wide. Bautista comes back through. There's been a season's worth of overtaking between these 5 already in this race. It's cracking stuff in this battle for 4th place.
It's absolutely brilliant. Petrucci and Dovizioso, of course, both of them on GP 17 machine. It's Dovizioso fresh on that second. Andrea Iannone in bottom place in 19th at the moment. A ride through penalty for the Suzuki rider. Some loads of gearbox problem. Alex Rins, a crash from Marc Marquez. Bautista and Zarco are really going at it now.
Zarco's M1 coming out of that hollow, that dip at turn 10 was making, because he's, what, 3.4 seconds back. Oh, Pedrosa's gone down. A nightmare for Repsol Honda. Turn 2 has caught Pedrosa out as well. What a shocker.
Same corner as Marc Marquez.
He was pushing Nicky, just putting his personal best lap of the race.
Both Repsol Honda riders out. Danny Pedrosa out of 4th place. Marc fancies 2nd place. He knows, I think, that he probably won't catch his teammate. Sad end of the race for Danny Pedrosa, as it was for his teammate Marc Marquez. Turn 2, here we go.
You know what, he got it all unsettled, didn't he? Coming out of turn 1 on the gas, you can see he was having a lot of movement from the rear tyre.
2nd place.
Yeah, Bautista's taken 4th off camera from Johan Zarco. You just wonder, with Johan Zarco spinning up that rear tyre so much, for just how much longer he can abuse it. Oh, there's been a collision here. That's Dovizioso and Aleix Espargaro at the first corner. And Andrea Dovizioso, for the 2nd year in a row, has been taken out sideline. Now, I don't know if that might have just ever so slightly caught Aleix Espargaro's eye line. I mean, how was your luck, Andrea Dovizioso? He'd averted a collision himself with Petrucci, and then only to be taken out by Aleix Espargaro.
Aleix Espargaro apologises. That's all he can do, but...
And boom, I was down. It was a real quick crash. There was absolutely nothing he could do about it. Zero warning. I've got to say, when Rossi dipped into the 139s a couple of laps ago, I thought he was going to be ready to pounce on Cal Crutchlow, but you've got to give an awful lot of credit to Crutchlow. He's doing a brilliant job of hanging on to that second place.
This is the battle for second place.
2 Repsol Hondas out. I know Rossi's going to be potentially back on the podium again, but in terms of building up an early buffer in the championship, what an opportunity for Vinales.
What a racing prospect in Texas, where Marc Marquez has won every single race. Well, he's got a decent record here as well, and the way he went off like a scalded cat, you thought that record would remain.
As well, Paul Espargaro and Bradley Smith heading for their first World Championship points in MotoGP.
There's Paul Espargaro coming up behind his great mate, Tito Rabat. It's Hector Barber in front of them. We ride with Paul Espargaro. Hey, all they can do is ride, and what happens in front of them, crash-wise and everything else, is nothing they can do about it.
You know what I find amazing, though, Nick? You can see that Rossi, Cal Crutchlow's riding an absolutely brilliant race, don't get me wrong, but you would think that by now, if Rossi had a bit more confidence in that front end, which we know he's lacked, he might have had a bit of a lunge on Crutchlow by now.
Even there, that we've just seen from the helicopter, we ride with Valentino Rossi.
Premier class, where he's come from outside the top 6 on the grid to the podium.
Here he goes again. I think with a bit more confidence in the front tire, he'd have stuck it up the inside of Crutchlow there, don't you?
Yeah, Cal's going to have a little bit more stability, isn't he, with that hard option front tyre. To take his second successive win, as Rossi then got the pace to quite comfortably stretch away from Crutchlow.
While we ride with Valentino Rossi, heard what the crowd thought about it. We're on board with him. His 350th Grand Prix appearance. Cal Crutchlow in 3rd place. Yeah, he is just... This is the fight for second between Rossi and Crutchlow, up through 3 and 4. Onto the back straight. Vinales is already there, that familiar number 25, the Top Gun.
He's looked absolutely immaculate, hasn't he?
He's on rails, isn't he? Riding on rails.
There's Bautista just coming into his shot at the top of the picture. Rossi last time around was about 0.4 of a second quicker than him. Doesn't look like Vinales is going to surrender that pretty comfortable lead. In fact, he's only extending it, getting close to a 3-second advantage over Rossi now.
Well, following up the brilliant riding guitar, very different type of ride, wasn't it? When he had to fight to the very end. It's Baz 11, Rabat 12, Paul Espargaro 13, 14 is Hector Barber, 15 is Bradley Smith, and Andrea Iannone with that ride-through penalty in 16th place. Collision between Dovizioso and Aleix Espargaro brought them both down. We saw a crash for Danny Pedrosa. Samler was retired with a getting guitar. Was keep calm, keep calm.
That's what he was saying now.
Now he's saying concentrate, concentrate, concentrate.
Yeah, focus, focus. Look at that. How many times was he in those high 139s, Maverick Vinales? He threatened this in winter testing. Could he live up to the billing of pre-season favourite? Could he carry on the form of winter testing with all the
time? But he didn't try anything silly, did he, think, to go with him? No wonder Lynn Jarvis is smiling, the managing director of Yamaha Racing as we stand at the moment. Vinales in 1st place, Rossi 2nd, Crutchlow 3rd, Bautista, Zarco, Petrucci, Folger, Redding, Miller and Abraham. Good ride by Karel Abraham once again in 10th. The ride as quick as they possibly can to keep that concentration absolutely on the edge. So they start dropping and thinking about, OK, with nice comfortable lead, we're OK. That's often when mistakes are made.
Yeah, it would have been interesting had Marc Marquez not thrown it into the gravel, what Maverick Vinales would have had for him. There was a gap of over 2 seconds. MotoGP, Danilo Petrucci will be desperate to hang on to it. We haven't seen Petrucci inside the top 6, believe it or not, since Sepang way back in 2015. So there's a bit of pride at stake in this one. Petrucci getting it back, the caddy moving around, coming through turn 10.
Well, as we saw in his battle with Danny Pedrosa, he's not an easy man to overtake. And of course,
would be a good conclusion to what's been an outstanding weekend for the Czech rider.
He's handled everything brilliantly, hasn't he? Asked about criticism about him coming into MotoGP. Was he surprised where he was? What did he think of? He speaks very well indeed. Folger's got past Petrucci.
That M1 inside the top 6.
Vinales on his last lap, chasing his 2nd successive Grand Prix win. Valentino Rossi, well, good third place for him in Qatar, second place here. He'd be pretty pleased. 2 podium finishes at the start of the season.
Not a bad way to celebrate this.
Half a lap to go. 22-year-old Spaniard will increase his lead in the World Championship and could be celebrating 2 successive Grand Prix wins in his 2 rides with the factory Yamaha team.
Yeah, what a day it's been for Yamaha. A 1 and 2, and as well by Jonas Folger, who came through on Danilo Petrucci. Petrucci then misses out on that top 6 yet again. He has to settle for 7th.
Scott Running in 8th place, Jack Miller 9th, Carol Abraham 10th, and Loris Baz in 11th place. Have the KTM scored some points as the whole circuit is engulfed in LCR Honda.
Yeah, boy, did he make Rossi work for that 2nd place. Good one.
Between him and Danilo Petrucci.
Petrucci just ran out of rear grip, didn't he? He was attacking so hard at the start of the race to try and keep himself in that front group. And he just over-abused the tyre. The first Yamaha rider to win the opening 2 Premier Class races of the year since Wayne Rainey in 1990. That's such a long time ago, in 1990.